What's up, everybody? I'm your girl, Shani Sweets, and this is the Rise and Grind podcast with Hot 97.9. I am sitting here with Miss Ro and Co., Miss Ronnise herself. If you don't know, you're about to find out. She is life coach, Army vet, author, wife, mom, all the things. And we're about to chop it up about your brand and what you have going on. How you doing?
I'm doing good, girl. How
Good. I'm doing amazing. I'm glad that you're here. I get to see you hustle and bustle through here quite often. But this time you're coming
work, yes.
and you're doing it just for yourself. So how do you feel? What you got going on?
I feel good. I feel real good. I'm just here, and I think the connection with this station has just been my launching pad for being in Raleigh. So yeah. I'm just excited to see where
everything goes.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you from? You mentioned being in Raleigh.
Okay. Where am I from? I
like that. I do the same thing. So you tell me and I'll tell you. Okay.
I'm from everywhere. But I was born and raised in Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana to be exact. So it's a small town in Lafayette. There, it's grown so much now. But I'm a Southern girl from Louisiana, and I moved to New Orleans in the 9th grade. I graduated from high school. I joined the military, and then I went to Southern University, represent HBCUs. Don't play with us.
Okay. HBCUs, yes. You know how we get down. Y'all know we love an HBCU.
Yes. So in between that, going to the military, coming back to school. I went to Iraq in between that time. When I tell you, y'all, I've done so much.
She's done it all.
Done it all. So, yeah, 2017, I moved to Atlanta, and it was, I feel like, when you're born, I feel like I was born in the wrong place. I feel like I was supposed to be born in a bigger city, and I was trying to move out for the longest time. I was like, oh man, I gotta go to a bigger city. Yeah. And then the Lord, those stars aligned, and I was able to move to Atlanta, and it was after that life-changing.
Turned up. She turned up basically. She moved to Atlanta. She turned up. But how did you end up here in Raleigh?
Oh, great question. So how did I end up in Raleigh? So I've been in the community outreach space for on and off for 10 years. And after that, I was working in community outreach or marketing for a large health insurance company, for many large health insurance companies. And the one I'm at now, I was approached to be a senior manager.
Okay.
So
big bucks.
Listen. I was like, yes, please clock it. So after I received, that proposition, I was like, wow. I think one of the things that we may not think about is, or we think about it a lot, the lack of diversity, right?
Yes.
We think about that a lot, and we don't see people who look like us, being our manager, and we're just like, wow, like we're all, one race, and where are we at up here? Right. So I couldn't complain or talk about the lack of diversity, and then when it comes my way, I just
don't accept it.
I was like, if it's not me, then who? I'm the one. I'm the chosen one. So I accepted the role. One of the questions I asked was, do I have to move to North Carolina? And the answer was yes.
So that's how you ended up here in Raleigh.
So that's how I ended up here in Raleigh. And
not that big of a difference from Atlanta, but it's a big difference from Atlanta. So if you're here and you experience the culture of Raleigh, like you really do get that city vibe, but you also get to have that country vibe. It might not be Raleigh per se, it might be Cary or something like that, but it's still like within very close proximity. But you get to have that country city balance, which I feel like Raleigh's kind of a melting pot.
It is.
But like for you, I know you went from small to Atlanta, and then now you're like in between. So like, how's the change for you? Like, what's the biggest change?
Wow, I think the biggest change, the culture shock. You know, when you think of Atlanta, you think of black excellence. Not saying there's no black excellence here, because there is.
Yeah.
But Atlanta is like
in your face.
In your face. Everyone is doing it big. You know, it's flashy. It's you know, we're gonna show out. And
I was like, show up and show out. I mean, that's what Atlanta is definitely about. So I'm from Alabama originally.
Okay, wow.
So hey, cousin.
Okay.
You know,
right.
but it was. My mom is from New York, from the Bronx. My dad is from Alabama and Detroit.
Okay.
But so I grew up moving. Like I lived in Atlanta, I lived in Connecticut. I did all the things.
You've been all over.
So for me, it works having a balance of the country and the city.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Atlanta being like right next door. Like once I did have to go back to Alabama, like during high school and stuff, I was like, "Where's the city buses?
Yeah.
like where's the train?" Like I was very used to being like independent, even young growing up. So I can imagine like with you going to the military, leaving Louisiana, leaving all these places, and coming to Atlanta, having that independence.
Yeah.
And then, becoming the grown woman that you are, and now in the middle of your growth and your womanhood, you're relocating again.
Yeah.
And so, like, for your brand, for your what you're doing, how does that feel? How does that translate?
Wow, it feels amazing. I wake up like this is my life. I can't believe this is my life. This is what I've dreamed of for so many years.
Yeah.
I'm a middle child. But I've always been independent, like a leader. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to, lead other people to greatness.
Right.
So being, having that opportunity to show that I can lead a group of people to greatness, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. And I just, I'm honored.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, I'm so honored to be in this position, and I just want to do it at a high level. Just like, just because Raleigh is in Atlanta, like I still want to, show up and show out. Like we're not gonna just stop that because we're gonna keep
pushing that.
Going.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep it. But I love my life. It's a great opportunity, great feeling, and I want to bring others with me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I gotta bring others with me to the top, because it's not just about me. It's about so many other people right now that are probably applying for a job and praying like, please Lord, just please let me get this job.
That's very true.
There's so many people that are out here, and I want to be able to help them get that dream job, or even if it's just a job that they need just to pay the bills. Like,
right.
What do you need?
I
will help you do that.
So what is, I know what you do that's not your full business, who you work for and the management that you are in. But for you and your title, your brand, what is people's, what are they coming to you for? Are they coming to you for management? Are they coming, even if there's an individual contracted thing like that, are they coming to you for, I know you have real estate, I know you have life coaching, but I keep hearing you say, leadership is your thing and you want to bring people behind you and put people in position. Mm-hmm. Are you just a consultant? What is Row & Co?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, right? Mm-hmm. It's, recently a lot of people have come to me for the life coaching.
Okay.
They've come to me for the, hey, I have such and such amount of money. How do where should I invest it? Mm-hmm. What should I do with this job or this whatever? So many people come to me for so many different reasons. That's why it's very broad. So, but the biggest thing is that just trying to help guide them. I get asked all the time, what do you do? Or how can I get to where you're at? And I tell them all the time, this wasn't a quick process like this. People look at me now, they're like, oh, you're great, you're everything, but this is 10 years plus in the making. This wasn't just an overnight thing.
Yeah.
So,
and I believe that, because it's trials and tribulations, it's highs and lows, it's the wheel. You're at one peak and then you're at the lowest peak, and then you figure it out and you evolve. So it's definitely evolution of Ronnise.
I think the biggest thing is the biggest thing that I didn't do was I never gave up. Mm. I just kept going. I think even whenever I was in the gutter.
Uh-huh. What's the gutter, Ronnise? What's the gutter? We on the Rise and Ground podcast. We need to know. We need to get into it.
Gutter. Okay, so you mentioned. So I wrote a book.
Okay.
I wrote a book and I launched it. Well, I released it in 2020, right before COVID. And it was about my struggle with, so let's rewind. 2016, a terrible storm came through the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area.
Yeah, Katrina.
Well, nope,
it wasn't Katrina. That was earlier. That was
earlier.
That was okay.
So a lot of people think that when I tell them my house flooded, they're like, "Oh, that's good." No. So Katrina was in 2005. 2016, I was outside of the Baton Rouge area. And it was a terrible storm that came through. It just started raining. It wouldn't stop. And we literally just, like, the water just kept rising and rising. And we didn't know, like, what was going on. Usually for hurricanes, like, like, they'll tell you, hey, evacuation, you need to get out.
Right.
None of that. Because it wasn't a hurricane. It was just
tropical storm.
It wasn't a tropical storm. It was just a rain. It was just a terrible rain. So it kept raining. And then literally, I think my biggest goal in life was to buy my first house. Like, that's all I wanted. Like, all I wanted was to buy a house for myself and my son. I did that in 2014. Brand new construction. It was like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Like, it was really cute. And I'm gonna tell y'all the price. It was like $160,000. Like, it was
like that.
Listen, it was like, this was, you know.
Yeah, that was a big deal for
that's
you.
the prices like that I need now. So, bought this house, and like a year and a half later, it flooded. It literally, I received 5 feet of water in my house. Is devastating. One of the most devastating parts of this situation was the fact that I did not have flood insurance. I didn't need it because we weren't in a flood zone. So I didn't need it to get the mortgage.
Yeah.
And this was at a point of my life where I wasn't saving money. Like, I was young. I wasn't saving money like I save money now.
Right.
You know, so, you know, going through something like that, and, you know, working with FEMA and not getting the money you hope you're gonna get, it was pretty devastating. When I tell you, it was, I mean, I lost everything.
Yeah, so you had to completely start over.
Every piece of anything I've ever bought was gone.
Yeah.
In a blink of an eye. So I wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta write a book. I gotta let people know this. And again, it didn't hit national news for like days. Then eventually it hit CNN, and then I was like, I told y'all I was in London, you know. And so many people, because everyone does. I'm such a big giver.
Yeah.
I'm always, you know, your child selling stuff, whatever. I'm always like, what do they need? And I'm not ever someone that asks for help or ever receives a lot of help. So when the national news hit and people knew that it happened to me, like, people that I didn't even expect, people from around the world.
Wow.
Were sending me stuff, and just I was blown away. I was getting boxes and boxes of stuff every day, and it was a devastating time in my life. I mean, stress, and, you know, how am I gonna rebuild this house? I don't have any money, and you know, at the end of the day, FEMA did give us some money, but it wasn't enough. But I raised, when I tell you, people I didn't even think were gonna gave.
Right.
You know, and I think that's one of the reasons that made me want to give even more. Like, after that situation, now looking back, I think that's why I give more now.
Gotcha.
Because I'm just like, wow, like, these people
you gotta come through for somebody else, because people can't
I gotta
do
do
for you.
More.
Yeah.
So,
it's the you know, you gotta give to receive, and, you know, really, you know, zone in on like who's there, and when you can always be the person that nobody thought was there, and you just send something and give something, and they're like, wow, just like you were like, I didn't expect this. So that's kind of sounds like what you releasing your book after that tragedy, and everything else that you have accomplished since that point, because 2016 is not that far away. So for you to rebuild and be who you are now, that leadership role, like, what steps could you give, or what advice could you give to one who's taking those steps to becoming like who you are today, or for them, you know, in their way?
Yeah, I think just having that determination and not giving up, like, and
you said that.
and even before that, you know, having faith in God. Like, listen.
Mustard seed.
Listen,
Okay.
I was like, I think my faith grew so much during that time. But just keep going and never giving up. You know, a lot of people give up. And I'm like, as soon as you give up, that's when it was gonna happen. Like, don't give up, because I promise you, there are people out here that were willing to help you. And as soon as you give up, it's over. But I think, you know, there's people in jobs right now that probably hate their job.
Yeah.
They hate their manager. You know, I've never wanted to be a manager where people are like, I hate her. Like,
I never wanted to be a manager because they always hate you.
Yeah, everyone
like,
says
you
that.
go from being their
Nobody
best
wants to be a
friend.
manager.
I did. So I worked food industry from like 16 up until like graduating, like up until like really like planting myself in my career, and it was like, it'd be my best friend, you're cool, and then they would get that position and they just turn into something else, and I'm like, see, now I can't even rock with you. I can't even talk to you how I was talking to you. Like, I can't, like, you don't even have to, people change when they get into certain positions. And now I even realize that even if it has nothing to do with my job or anything of the sort, I'll walk into somewhere and it was like a new manager or something, and you can tell the dynamic of them trying to like make their space like theirs, like own their new position, and like how it makes the team kind of feel uncomfortable, because it's like, you know, things are set a certain way for a company, but you know, each manager can tweak and do certain things, but sometimes they can overstep, but you can't say anything as somebody that's working with them. Like, you gotta kind of let them have it and, you know, go through their own trials and tribulations. But it's very, very like ironic for like moving into that position and like how that kind of changes things.
It is.
But leadership is still like, you have to find that balance.
You do. It's tough. It's tough. I can't even act like it's easy. Yeah. It's hard. Every day I wake up, I'm like, okay, so what's today gonna bring? You know, okay, what's gonna happen today?
You're the boss.
I'm the boss, and I have to, you know, make tough decisions sometimes. And, you know, I just never wanted to be that. You know, of course, we're not going to be best friends, but I wanted to be that manager that when you leave from working with me and you go on to your next interview and someone asks, who was the best manager you ever had? I want you to say Ronnise. Ronnise was the best manager I had, because she really cared. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, yes, we do sales, we have to hit numbers, we have to do all those things, but you can still have a heart. Yeah. I was like, I like to lead with heart. Lead with love, you guys. In everything you do, even in your mistakes, your hardships, your ups, your downs, lead with love. I do that. I say that all the time, and like, people really don't really understand it for some. Like, I have to break it down sometimes, but it's just that simple. Like, it's that simple. If you lead with love and you have pure intentions, even when you mess up, you're gonna have to face the mess up. You're gonna have to, you know, maybe fix something or explain something, apologize about something. But if you really, really are leading with love, it's gonna come back full circle, and you'll learn the lesson. You'll know how to do it better and love bigger and harder and, you know, more. And they know that. Yeah. Your team knows that. Like, they feel it. And they're gonna rock with you even harder. Yeah. They want to see, so many of my team, they want to see the realness. We want to see you succeed. Like, we want our team to be, you know, number one. We don't want to be at the bottom. Like, we want you to succeed, right? So that's what makes me so proud of, you know, what I do and how I lead. You know, I just want to make sure that I'm always taking care of my team no matter what. And sometimes it's hard. Every day. You got a lot of people under you. But I do. But it comes with the job. And when I said yes, then that's what. And you're taking on people that's not necessarily with you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily in your same company. Like, you're doing it for your own business. So you're taking individuals that are not necessarily, they don't have to be under you, but you're taking on this life coach role, you know, the mom role, the wife role, like all these different roles. Wife and mom, but what in the last 10 years has been your biggest accomplishment? I think we just brought it up. My biggest accomplishment, I would have to say, is writing and finishing my book. Yeah. You know, I have a lot of accomplishments. I've done a lot, but my book was something that I had to get out. I had to get it done. I started writing it. You've done a lot in this short time span, like 2016, not that long ago. And
in this time frame, being a wife, being a mom, an author, all these titles that you have, what is your biggest accomplishment in the last 2 years?
Wow. Just hearing all of that, I'm just like, wow, I can't even believe I've done so much.
Like I said, done it all.
But I want to say my biggest accomplishment, and I have a lot. I have a lot of things that I can say, but I think my biggest accomplishment is writing and finishing my book.
Yeah.
It's called Flooded Out. It's on Amazon, so go check that out. You can just type in Flooded Out or my name and it'll pop up. But I wanted to write a book about my experience in Iraq.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And when time goes on, like you kind of forget things, and it's just like I don't remember what happened. So with this flood, I was like, I'm writing a book, and I'm writing it
right now.
It happened in August 2016. Literally, we're on the anniversary right now.
Oh wow.
And then January, I took a cruise, not a cruise. So I did take a cruise with my sons to the Bahamas. As soon as I got back on a 3-day Christmas cruise, I flew out to Barbados on a solo trip by myself and just was on the beach, and that's where I started writing my book. It's giving, okay? I had a notebook and I just started writing and eventually I came back and then I stopped writing.
You brought the husband back down here?
I didn't.
It
really was, right?
Yeah, I was imagining it.
Yeah. That would have been, But no, that didn't happen. But came back to the States and really hustled to get my house back together. And I really didn't have time to write the book. And then I was like determined. Like I started setting like goals. Okay, Ronnise, so you have to write 5 pages. Every day you have to write a certain amount of pages to get this done. Eventually, that was in 2016. Then 2017 came, and then I still was just like trying to get my life together. And 2020, April 2020 is when I released the book. Wow. It was during COVID, and I was like, well, I want to do the release party. I want to do the whole thing.
Show up and show out. I got it.
And I couldn't. So I just released it on Amazon, and one amazing thing about that is my dad was able to buy my book and read it. And if you go right now, if you go on Amazon, you'll read the reviews, you'll see a comment from my dad about how proud he is of me, and he passed away the year after unexpectedly. Wow. So that's why I tell people, don't wait. I couldn't wait. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. I want to do the, the party. I want to do the release. I just did it. I just released it.
Just do it, you guys.
Just do it, because for real, you never know what might happen. And again, I'm so glad I did. I had a friend tell me that recently. I hold on to things and want things to be perfect and do certain, the big things. But I've learned since I've been just doing and going with fail or not fail, it still has been like some type of fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? Just because you learning something that you might missed before, or you just really did what you said you was going to do, and it's time to celebrate. Like either way, and just doing it versus holding on. You don't want to leave and have like grudges or just resentment towards yourself because you didn't push yourself. You didn't rise and you didn't grind. You know what I'm saying? That's all we saying. That's all we saying. Life is too short. Life is too short. I know y'all log in every day on whatever social media platform and you see someone your age
pass away,
and you're like, wow.
I literally that happened yesterday to some friends. It wasn't one of my friends, but friends of mine. Lost somebody through a tragic car accident, and it's just stuff like that. You just never know it. So you definitely want to enjoy it. You want to make the most of the relationships that you have, and just try to be the best version of yourself.
Be the best you can be, and leave a legacy. I want to leave. I have my son, but I want to. That book will be here forever.
What's one tip you would give other Black women looking to get into leadership roles, especially what you're saying, leaving a legacy? And I really want to ask, make it, zoning in on the future alignment. Like thinking about what the legacy is going to be in the future when you're making your decisions now in leadership.
I think my biggest tip, and I have many tips. I can go on and on and on about this, but one of the biggest tips is don't be afraid to move. You have to, I know where, you know, I was in Louisiana for the longest time. I didn't want to leave. That's my home, you know. And I was kind of forced out. The flood kind of gave me that, you know, that push that I needed to go. Don't be afraid to move. Some your opportunity might be somewhere else. It might not be, because I would not be where I'm at as a senior manager if I didn't move to Raleigh. Like, it just wouldn't have happened. Also, you know, one thing, make sure you're dressed. You know, for the interview. Make sure you come. Like, I've interviewed many people for, you know, for one of my positions, and they just don't show up. They don't show up like they need to, and it matters. It's very important to show up professionally, no matter what. No matter what, always show up. And I would say, you know, one last tip. If I had to choose one, I know you said one, but you know, there's a lot of different things.
It's okay. We're gonna take them all in.
Listen, you know, we get these interviews. First of all, we pray, you know, we send out, we apply for the job, we send out the resume, the application, we pray for an interview. We get the interview, and then what? We bomb it.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Yes. So listen up. Because I did this myself, and it got me very far. So
you have to interview prep. Y'all, you have to interview prep, okay? You cannot just wake up, oh, I know my life, I know my resume, I know where I worked. No, like, you have to study it. I studied probably for 2 weeks for my second interview. My first interview was not the best. I will say that right now. It wasn't the best, but my director, he knew I had it in me. He was like, hey, he gave me the feedback I needed. He said, do this, do that. I said, say no more. Like, all you have to do is tell me what I need to do, and it's done. So I did it. The second interview was completely night and day. You know, and he said that. He was like, wow, like, that's completely different. But if you don't have anyone, you know, praise God for my director. He's amazing. A lot of people don't have that, you know.
But you got YouTube, so I was telling you earlier,
there's so many resources out here.
I was on the hunt. And I found this job. I was like, I'm gonna apply for this job, and I'm gonna make it through there. I said, they got how many rounds of interviews? Okay. I wanted to be, and I did have a friend that was in sales, and he was used to interviewing multiple people for one position. And he was like prepping me, but I was like I was hearing it, but I wasn't like hearing it. Like, I'm hearing you as a friend, like, tell me, like, oh yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that. But when I got on YouTube and all I searched was interview prep, and that guy that popped up, he had courses for everything. I did that. So when she says interview prep, listen to that. And I also moved. So I was telling you where I was from earlier, but after high school, I think I did like 2 years in my hometown. And then my family from Connecticut have been here for a while. We used to come up here and visit and all that. It's like the center for Connecticut, Alabama. And I was coming up here to visit, and then I was just like, I'm moving. It was finally like, I was 23, so I did a little time after high school. I did community college, but I was still just like, from being a child, from being young, I've moved to all these different cities and places, and I was getting like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I was like, so I'm just gonna go. So I just moved. Like, and my mom did that. Like, you just move. Now all the time, like, dang, like I wasn't ready to move as a kid. Like, I just met these people.
Not as a kid,
but when it comes to just like your career, and so I came up here. I went to school. I went to Shaw, and I graduated 2019, and I went and got my master's from Full Sail 2020, and the pandemic happened. So my plan was to graduate from undergrad. I didn't even plan on getting my graduates, but once I did, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna move. After I get both my degrees, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I didn't, because it just made sense here, because now I'm here. So it made sense, but I did work in Rocky Mount. Like, I didn't like hold myself to just be like in Raleigh or just school stuff or just online. Like, I did expand, and I started working in Rocky Mount, and then that led me to, you know, being here. And then who else knows? I be telling people, they be like, I'm gonna lay my roots here. This is a great place to lay your roots. You know, start a family, build a farm. I don't care what it is, whatever it is that you want to do. But as far as like career wise, like, I am so open to traveling. Like, let me have my house here and my apartment there. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can just expand. Especially, I don't have kids now, so it's just like, yeah, like let's get to it as much as I can.
There's planes for a reason. Hop on a flight.
Hop on a
takes a couple of hours. Depending on where you're going, and you're there. So
yeah.
Don't be afraid to travel. You know,
I love everything that she said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, y'all. This is Ronnise, Row & Co, Ronnise and Company.
Ronnise and Raleigh.
Yeah,
Ronnise and
Raleigh,
y'all. I can't believe.
Ronnise and Raleigh, taking over Raleigh. Coming from Atlanta, coming from Louisiana.
Yep.
And she's gonna keep going. So y'all keep tapping in. You already know it's Rise and Grind. I'm your girl Shani Sweets. It's High 97.9. And make sure that you follow, tap in, all the things. So you can come and, talk about your story as well. That's what we doing here. We want to know everybody's story. And she don't even know, but that business card about to go right in my pocket. I need to know the life coach shit. I need all that. So, yes.
I'll hook you up, girl.
All right. We're gonna cheers to this wine that you bought.
Cheers. Yes.
Very good. They're gonna have to pay us, but this is good. All right. Bye, you guys.